In principle, I think it's a really good idea. In fact, when I was doing some work for Brayshaw Park 4 or 5 years ago, it seemed to me then that such an organisation would be worthwhile in the district. It would have the ability, I think, properly put together, of being able to coordinate all of the varying different historical organisations around the district.
The time has come for a Marlborough Heritage Trust. This is something we've talked about for many years. All of our organisations out there in the community are finding it difficult to get manpower and to get resources, and I think by combining our strength will see us through.
Marlborough has one of the best collections of heritage sites and heritage buildings in New Zealand, with a wide range of sites, and it's important that the organisations that are preserving them and are educating people about them are working together.
Marlborough's such a diverse place, really. When you think we've got the ocean, we've got the sounds, we've got the mountains, we've got the hills, and we've got the plains, which have largely been taken over by the grapes now. For a small area, it's a very diverse society.
We think we are sitting on one of the bigger collections of heritage agricultural machinery in the Southern Hemisphere. And yet here we are, a small voluntary organisation, and a wee bit puzzled about how to go from here. So the thought of, well, the approach from you about a heritage trust seems to open a big door in the right direction for us.
We need to go forward with a trust that can look pragmatically at our problems, which are a lot of people that were doing the volunteer work are not wanting or able or capable of doing what we need to take our museum and our archives forward into the future.
If we are responsible custodians for the heritage of Marlborough forever, we must be planning for the future. We must be thinking, what is a viable alternative for us?
You shouldn't be afraid of a trust structure. I think it's been wonderful for us. We've managed to go forward, still have the voice of the enthusiasts behind it and driving it, but also that expertise. So long as you have lots of communication and you make sure that everybody is involved, it's only win-win.
We're going to get a combined facility here that is just going to be fantastic. And it is a matter of people thinking outside the square and looking at it as a huge project. And I know it is a big project, but looking at it and looking into the future and just taking a look and saying, my goodness, this is all here. It's just a matter of collating and putting it all together.
The Marlborough Heritage Trust would be the perfect solution for the Ebon Fox long term. You need that umbrella over it, and then we can all rest assured that someone behind is going to keep an eye on things there. And because incorporated societies are not really the right thing, and at the end of the day, it ends up with just a committee. But a Marlborough Heritage Trust would be an absolutely, well, it would be a godsend for the Fox, wouldn't it? It'd be the answer.
We can all work together, and well, even now we're sort of visiting Havelock, and they come and visit us, and so I mean, if we could sort of make that an overall thing that we all joined in together, yes, that would be a tremendous advantage to Marlborough, yes.
It's quite wrong to think that people who love heritage and history are people who only like old things. What we all like is something inspirational, something interesting, something that really enriches our human experience of the place where we live and where we're going to bring up our kids, something that inspires older generations to come together with their parents, grandchildren, and this is really such a crucial thing for heritage.
The involvement of the Marlborough District Council in this is absolutely critical. Not only is it critical from the point of view of funding, and also it is vital that the council be seen to be supportive, as they are with swimming pools, as they are with sporting fields, as they are with libraries, with art galleries. They're all part of the social fabric of our community.
Well, I think you need to have representation from everybody. Make sure that every voice is heard, but also ensure that the right people are in there managing it. And part of that is future-proofing, because the enthusiastic people are not going to be there forever. You've got to have other people who are there to take over from them, who have got expertise to carry on.
I believe if a trust was set up and, people could come and talk about their collections, leaving them to the people of Marlborough, and looking forward for 100, 200, 1,000 years. It's quite exciting to think that we're at the beginning of this and we're going to be part of it.
Heritage has to be alive, and if it's going to be alive, it's got to be relevant. If it's going to be relevant, then it needs to be driven by people who have real support and the confidence of the broadest possible representation within a community.
Well, several years ago, the Marlborough District Council began running heritage seminars, 2 a year, and it was quite obvious from the start of those that the communication amongst all the heritage groups, well, it was finally going to lead towards this. It's taken a long time, but we're going to be so strong when we all join together that this must be a success.
We would see a trust as becoming a primary conduit of communication and support between us and the District Council, and would love to see it make life a lot easier for both sides of this equation, so that the District Council feels more and more comfortable with increasing its support.
A very good idea in my mind would be for the council to come down here and physically walk the walk. They've sort of talked the talk, but if they walk the walk like I did, I think they will be amazed at what is happening here already. And I think they already know the value of heritage. But again, it's a personal and a practical application is what is needed here. And I think that once they've been down here and seen what's happening, I don't think there's going to be a problem with funding.
Funding for museums and heritage, it's basically going to remain reasonably static in the short term. The economy's not great, but like every season, there's work to be done. While we're not rolling in money as a province, why don't we take the time through the winter period, through the dormants, the quiet time, to really reflect on a viable, practical plan, get all our ducks in a row, so that as the economy and the province grow, we've thought about the hard questions for Marlborough Heritage. We've developed a plan. We've established the relationships. We've kept the local body on board, and they understand where we're all heading.
The council really simply have, in my view, little or no option but to be supportive of this project, assuming that the proposers of it are able to put together all the necessary matters to satisfy council that things are going to work properly.